We should be live again, right here on the YouTubes.
The old YouTubes.
Why is this? I'm looking over here, and for some reason it only wants to show me. We need to fix this because we have Jared here. It is both of us.
Tell me when you can see my beautiful face.
We will.
Can you hear me?
We
Can
will
you hear
see
this
what
voice?
we can do.
This voice that's made for radio? No, it's not.
I'm not sure why we've only got me, but we're checking this out. I'm trying something, and of course there's a delay, on my end. So I probably had one weird setting.
What is the delay on YouTube?
I don't know. I think I've got
3 seconds?
from the looks of my face and this face. I have no idea. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, wait. I think we have
Got
us. This looks more like a 15 seconds delay if I'm looking at it right. So it's a pretty significant one. Anyways, hey,
Cool.
We're live on YouTube. They can see your pretty face now.
Guys, missed you. You only knew, I think we've mentioned it before, but if you only knew the rocket ship that he's trying to control there behind the scenes, there's meters and there's visual levels, there's audio levels, everything's going off, and he's got to rotate between screens. It's pretty interesting. I'm just staring at a lens. I'm just talking to you guys, so hi.
Yeah,
Thank you, Joshua. Long story to say. Thank you, Joshua.
It is a
You
crazy...
do the lion's share of this.
Yeah, it's a crazy little setup over here that we've got going on, but you and I, we enjoy the tech. We enjoy, the technical aspect on some of this stuff, which got me thinking...
I know where you're going.
Maybe for today, I know you and I both, we have a busy day, so we've got things that are going on, so we're not going to be able to stay for
head out.
2 hours that we did last week. That's not going to happen.
I'd love that. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. Can't do it every time, but that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was fun. It was good. It was great conversation. I think it was well needed too. Not just for you and I. I think the audience needed to hear us for that long. All 8 people that listened for that long.
Right. Well, it's kind of like a long form podcast type of deal where you get to really know people, get to really see what they're about and what they care about, and it's fun.
Yep. So
Lots of fun.
when we were
Tell me
talking
about
about the technical aspect, new year.
Come on with it. What do you?
New
You
gear.
always have a new toy. You always have a new toy.
I
What is
actually have 2 new toys. I'm going to slide the mic out for just a second, and I'm going to see if I can pull this up. I'll probably have to pull my screen up just to...
Yeah,
Here,
do it.
let's see if I can just do this, and you guys might be able to see the Ronin SC. Is it going to zoom in on that? Oh, wait, Jared, I missed your audio. Hold on. Wait, say what you just said again.
Lighter version of the Ronin. Is that correct?
It's a lighter version, and yet almost
Made
as
for
powerful as the
mirrorless?
Ronin S.
Ooh.
Yeah. So this thing, it's made for mirrorless, but it's really got the power to handle, a fairly decent sized mirrorless with a heavy lens on it. So my settings, what I use, I've got the Canon M50 currently. Talk about new year, new gear. Next week, I plan on picking up the Sony A6600 and officially making the switch. So that will be fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Happy trails.
Yep.
Happy trails.
I'm
be back here
leaving
in Canon world.
the Canon ecosystem. Canon has just... Their actions have conveyed to me they don't want to sell me what I want. And so I'm okay with that. They're a business, they're a company. Make your own decisions. This is just... I'm not going to give you my money anymore. Sony makes what I want. So
Funny. It truly is different gear for different folks. Like, what's valuable to you, you need whatever to be able to go on for a while. So you need battery life, you need run time, you need all that stuff, record time. And then, like, I am terrible at color grading. Terrible. Every time I tweak it, it always gets weird. So I need Canon colors out of the box. And because I do so many, I need run and gun, bring in the footage. It looks okay. I tweak it just a little bit, get it back out. Anyway, it's just interesting. Like, I don't see myself straying from the Canon ecosystem, even though IBIS, even though runtime, even though all the other issues, color
You
science,
see,
you know.
that's what you say currently. We're going to give it a little while. Once you see me putting out some content on that thing, I think you're going to change your tune. I've seen a lot of the new Sony color. So I'm talking like the A6400, the A66, I think the 65 didn't really do it. The A7 III, those things, they really improved their color science. And to me, I saw a side-by-side of Canon and the new Sonys. I couldn't pick out the difference. It was that close.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Because of that...
There may be something to it. I definitely know that whenever you have a predominantly Sony shooter, like, Becky and Chris, we were talking about them last time, you can't tell. They do wonders with it. But, like, for me, I'm just so used to seeing that particular style, and I'm trying to match up my 6D Mark II with my EOS R. That was one of my pickups. I got an EOS R for the new year. But I'm trying to make those colors match without too much editing. Oh, let me show you another toy. I'll show you my tech. 1 second.
Okay, and then I got another one for you. Hey, just want to give a shout out. Dustin in the chats. Genevieve in the chats. Good to see you guys. Glad you're here. I would be pulling up the comments like normal, but we're trying to figure out some of this internet lag a little bit. So while Jared's running and grabbing a new toy, I just thought I would say what's up, guys. Good to see you. Anybody else that's hopping in the chat while we're live, if you got any questions, go ahead and drop them below, and we will catch up with this. All right, so Jared has a new toy.
It was in. I apologize. Okay, what I'm about to show you may not look like. No, I don't care. Look at this. Look at this thing right here.
Ooh, the Pico mic.
Do you see that thing?
I see
wipe
the Pico
out
mic
on audio all the time. Come on, let's see if we can do this.
That
Look
thing
at that
is.
thing. So now I can take this off, this little bitty guy right here, and clip it on talent, whoever, bridegroom, officiant, person giving the interview, just bam, clip it on, and all you'll see is that little tab.
So do me a favor, clip it on your shirt right now. Let us see what this looks like, how small and discreet this thing is.
Okay. Well,
Wow.
I do a terrible clip-up job right there, but...
No, but still,
Bam.
that thing is tiny. In comparison... Go ahead
When
and
you
talk.
have a button-up shirt? Yeah, when you have a button-up shirt, you just slide this thing in there, and literally, it's just the bar, because that's where the microphone is. Where is this thing? That right there is the microphone. It's just handy because you have people who don't want cords and wires run and strung all the way down. They don't want all this to mess with. And it gets a little personal because they want to ask, hey, where have those wires been? You do a lot of interviews.
Right. And that's in comparison to, I think you have one of these as well, right? The Rode Video,
I do
or
not.
the Wireless Go?
No.
Okay, so this is the Wireless Go. It's essentially the same type of a concept, but here's the...
Oh, yeah, hold on. We'll do it.
I mean,
I'll just
can you guys
slam it
see
on
the
here.
difference in this? How, granted, we're both wearing black shirts, so that helps. But I'll give you kind of a peek. So here's this on me versus that on Jared. I mean, huge difference in size quality. I love that Pico mic as far as the size and everything goes. Stellar.
And you can monitor this. You
Right.
just slam this on the top like you would your Rode mic, and you could monitor the levels, the audio levels. Come on, little. Anyway, you get the drift. You can monitor them individually.
Which is absolutely amazing because it's a better display, it's a better monitoring system than what the Wireless Go has. The Wireless Go has no monitoring system, and it makes it really hard on something like my Canon M50 that it has no audio monitoring without going into the menu and trying to get it, which is another upside for Sony.
Where this gets interesting is, say you're preaching and you just need something to slam on, or you have somebody else that's going to be coming up, to give a word. You have multiple mics that you can clip on really, really quickly. And if you have talent that's changing out, they can just trade off microphones. You give them a little briefing on, hey, take this out, slide it here, don't touch it.
Yeah.
And you're good to go. And
That
it
will
reaches
be-
forever.
Right. What has it got? Like 150 meter range, which...
I haven't hit the max
almost
of it. I
500
went outside
feet.
and played with it. Yeah, I went outside and played with it. I couldn't tell because it was windy that day. It is very, that's its weak point. If there's
Yeah.
any wind blowing, it's useless to you. But it could stretch. It's like, I don't know, maybe 200 farther than the lens could catch you. You wouldn't be filming from that far.
Yep. Well, and I think that's the other thing, you and I get into gear a lot, and there's a concept, there's really a principle behind what you and I do that I think could help everybody, regardless of whether they're in the tech, space or vlogging or pastoring, whatever industry they are. You need to find what works for you, because
Yes.
just because it works for me doesn't mean it's going to work for Jared, vice versa. And that's,
And
go ahead.
Oh, and I was just going to say, and not getting caught up in the next. So, I've already, I get it all the time. I'm looking down the road of what I want. I want certain things, and I don't think that I can either make videos or, make whatever it is that I want to make to the level that I want to make it at. And that's totally untrue, because if you have the basic elements of something to capture pictures with in video form and something to gather audio with, you can make miracles happen, really, just by starting with what you got.
Absolutely.
We do love tech. I mean, tech does matter a little bit, but it just cleans things up.
Well, and I think it's because we've been doing some of this for so long, and I think with you and I especially, it goes prior to doing anything on YouTube. Just being in ministry, we have to start getting into the audio video stuff to a certain degree. So some of it goes back even before that, and I don't know about you, but mine even goes back into like high school, taking some AV production classes, with speech and drama and working in plays, dealing with lighting, things like that.
Yeah, I was never exposed to any of that stuff, which I wish our school had. I mean, we had drama, but it wasn't to the level. Believe it or not, we're about to date ourselves. There really wasn't a big need for video. There wasn't YouTube. There wasn't any of that stuff going on at that particular time.
No,
So
my
just
first...
you had drama.
Yeah, my first video editing experience was in high school, and it was it was one of our speech classes, and I don't remember exactly which class it was, but we had to do a music video. And so, I mean, we had the over the shoulder, VHS camcorders, and then it's a dual video cassette mixer with a toggle back and forth, and so it's like hard switches and a slow crossfade.
Some of you are old enough to know what he's talking about here. Yeah.
They are. Yeah.
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 I
Some
had
of
a
them
thing
definitely
called
understand.
a mini DV. Do you remember those things? It was this transition from like tape to disc, or like a compact disc type of thing.
Yeah.
It was terrible, but that was my start into video, hanging out of the back of C-130s whenever I was in the military, trying to get film. And of course, there were no copyright rules, so they were set to,
Oh, right.
anyway, all
Yep.
sorts of crazy songs
Yep.
and whatnot. But that was a lot of fun. But
Yeah.
the equipment, like,
Well, and
having
that's
to
the thing,
push
like,
fast
when we think currently,
in order to speed.
when we think
Am I here?
current equipment and what you're doing, like with that Pico mic, for your type of setting, because, I mean, you and I, pastoring, quick clip, that works perfect.
Yeah.
I use I use this wireless Go, but then when I'm preaching, I also hook it up to a smart lav. So I've got this thing plugged into this thing, draped inside my shirt, and, toupee tape to my skin just to kind of hide it, because I want the discreet look. But I'm not going to do
My
that.
favorite part.
Yeah, the toupee tape. But I'm not going to. I'm not going to do that with like guest ministers. I've got a clip and I can put it outside on the lapel. But even that, I mean, if they want to know where that has been, it's been rubbing up against my skin. That's just where it's been.
Yep.
But I love the Pico mic, and I want to pick one up. Of course, I don't have an unlimited budget, so I've got to figure out what works best for me, and then what is the next most important thing, which goes to why I'm picking up the A66 next week, because it's the next most important, primarily because of the record limit. My Canon M50 here, after 30 minutes, that thing shuts off. Unless I've got a setup like this where it's going and bypassing, the battery going straight into my computer. And that's the only way, but I can't take this entire rig down to church, or if I go anywhere else to minister, it's just not going to work. Whereas the A66, it's got that big Z battery. I've seen it run in 4K for 2+ hours and not stop on one battery. So for me, it's like that would handle most situations I would be in.
And some of this may sound a little extreme, but when you're dealing in maybe a rural church or a smaller church or something like that, you don't have the budget for all the audio visual equipment. And sometimes, as pastors, we pick that up. So yeah. I do not regret any of the purchases that I've made in gear, because I use it at church. These Pico mics are now serving as like podcasts, because our soundboard and sound system cuts in and out. It's ancient. It's so old, and we can't revamp the whole thing. Trust me, I'll talk to the elders about that. Anyway, can't revamp the whole thing. So in the meantime, the crutch is I have a couple $100 Pico mic that is now running to an external recorder, and I can just smash it out that way. And that is now podcast, that's now audio, that's now all sorts of stuff. And it solves a bunch of problems. But I also want to encourage you, if you are small-time pastor, small-town pastor, or something like that, not small-time. It's so weird.
Big time.
You can, big-time pastor in a big-time spotlight. None of that matters. But using the resources that you have, yet again, pick up a camera, pick up a cell phone. I remember this guy using a gimbal, and you attached your cell phone to it, and it was panning back and forth, and you were starting those videos up. Or maybe it was that an M50 that you had on a... No, that was the... What was that device? It was a DJI product. Pocket.
The DJI Osmo Pocket.
Yeah, I mean, you leveraged that thing to the max when you were preaching.
Is why I got this instead. I picked up this because this has the active track. I can set my camera on it, and the only catch is I have to put a phone on top of the camera, but it comes with the attachment to be able to do that. And then this acts as a robotic cameraman, and it follows me around. And that's the point. Every pastor can feel the rub, because we got to find Joe Billy Bob. And where's my cell phone? You gotta find Joe Billy Bob and say, "Hey, Joe Billy Bob, can you run the camera for me?" Although, boss. That being said, we're talking about robotic cameraman, and here's another little piece of new gear that I picked up. You may or may not be aware of this thing.
I'm still lagging. What is it?
This is
it's
called...
a drill battery.
A drill battery. No, this is a Pixio
Dear camera.
robotic cameraman.
Oh.
It is specifically made for indoor tracking. And so, you just attach your camera on top, set a tripod on it, and then it has a
Do you have to wear like a receiver?
Yes, it has one of these little tags with a watch strip, or you just throw this in your pocket and it follows you around.
The cool part is I'm teasing the kid or whoever it is that you slam in front of a camera, or cell phone to run the camera. But if they have a passion for it, it's a great place to develop skills. And you're not giving them equipment, but Josh was somebody who wants to get involved with cinema or stabilization or audio or anything like that, can snag some of these tools and volunteer, get involved.
Yeah. Dude. Hey, you want to see another piece of new gear that I got?
Dude, I want to be the audio guy at your church. I want to be the audio visual guy. What did we get today, boss?
Well, and the sad part about this is that it's all coming out of my pocket. But that's the rub, like you said, that small church pastors and ministers, they understand that. I mean, you're working on a limited budget, and the church funds you're trying to do to oftentimes just to maintain the upkeep of the building. So anything that it needs, it's often coming from, a few people in the church that are just buying things here and there, especially the pastors.
Yep. So. Yes, indeed.
Hey, here's one of the other things I was going to show you. You ready?
Mission control to Major Tom. What are you doing? What is that? No! Witchcraft. Get it out of here. What are you doing? What just happened?
I have a backdrop system back behind me.
Oh, we just got fancy, didn't we? Oh my. How many of those things do you have?
I've got 4 of them.
4 of them? You got white, you got black, what else? You got green?
I have no idea. I've got a brown and I think something else, but yeah. Now here's another pro tip. You ready? Here's the pro tip. That thing is ancient. It's like 30 years old, which is why, I mean, this thing has like a built-in fuse on it. So it's kind of this ancient controller. However, Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace have some amazing deals if you can find it. I picked that thing up for $50.
Now that's something I've learned about you, Joshua. You are a deal finder. You and my brother-in-law, you're like, smells like there's a deal 3 counties away. There's $100 off of a camera on, and you find it, dude.
Yeah.
Teach one episode. We're gonna have to sit down and you're gonna have to show us. Anyway. We'll get into it.
I could probably do that. I think that sounds like a great idea for a 3-minute Thursday episode in the upcoming. Here's a 3-minute tip on how I find an amazing deal.
Dude, do it. Because I'm at the point where, like, if I'm shopping for a car, I call my brother-in-law and say, go, release the hounds. If I'm shopping for video equipment, it's like, oh, Joshua, do you think you could... You
know what I mean? I would say it probably... I don't know why. I don't know how I do it. But yeah, it's just, I search, I kind of know what I want. And I think maybe it's part of being the pastoral thing where we have to learn how to rephrase things sometimes a dozen different ways. And I've realized that somebody will list something like that in a weird and obscure way that nobody else would find. Unless they're specifically searching for something. And that's exactly what that happened. Because I asked the guy, he's a retiring photographer. I was like, this thing is worth like 10 times that much used. And he agreed. He knew it was, but he wanted it to go to somebody that knew what it was and how to use it. And so he had some weird, obscure type of specific keyword that he had listed it at. So nobody found it. I was like, all right, I'll take it.
That's amazing.
Yeah, just trying 15 different ways. But that is a good idea for an upcoming 3-minute Thursday. I'll see if I can find a good deal. I've got to pick up for my new Sony camera one of the 10 to 18 millimeter lenses, and I don't want to spend $800 on it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, hey man, I'm right at the end of my time with you guys, but I want to know real quickly. When are the 3-minute Thursdays coming out, and what do you have in the works next week or so?
I got a calendar over here. Let me double check what I got.
That still reminds me. I got to show you guys what my wife got me. Go ahead. What do you got?
So it looks like I will have a vlog coming out this week. Next week will be a vlog and a Bible study video. The following week, which would be, I believe, the 30th, is a 3-minute Thursday. So you'll get a vlog, a Bible study, and a 3-minute Thursday that week.
Dude, nice.
So
let me
that's
show you
the
something.
plan.
My wife did pretty much a similar deal right there. She's like, you've got to get organized. 1 second.
Yeah.
Okay. Not sure if you can see it. Okay. Whoop. It's a little bigger. It's a little bigger than I thought. All right, we have
nice.
The things that are hush. Cell phone. Research and development. To shoot. Edit. Cell phone. It's my alarm saying go right now. Shoot, edit, review. You get all that, and those are all different projects that I have in the works.
Awesome. Oh, yeah. And this is what my little thing is looking like currently. Just a calendar with different colored things for church and the YouTubes and the marriage ministry and
Dude.
family stuff, and it's
Beautiful.
about the only
That's
way I'm
beautiful,
going
man.
to stay sane and somewhat organized. So
That's so I started. That's the reason this little alarm just went off. I started setting alarms for each appointment so that I wouldn't blow past them, because you of all people know, life of a pastor, one meeting carries over to the next, one conversation carries over to the next, and everything gets pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed until you're just late everywhere. It's frustrating, or you have to cut down and sacrifice somebody's time,
Right.
and it's really disappointing. So I've been setting reminders in my phone in addition to, that's just the video thing, but setting reminders in my phone for each meeting. And I have found that if I stick to that, the breakneck pace of a day. I mean, it's awesome how much you get done, but it's like there's no breathing room unless you build it in.
Right.
And we were trying to, not we, but I was trying to, I can't speak for you, build all of that in. I just thought I was able to do it all in a day. I'm just doing stuff and running over people's schedules. It's a horribly inefficient way to manage your time. It was actually from that conference. What was that girl's name? At the Sean Cannell conference.
Heather Torres.
Yeah, Heather Torres, when she started talking about block scheduling,
Yep.
changed my life. I'd heard about it before, but like watching her put that into practice and how we can put that into practice, it was like, boom.
Yeah, and that's
Thank
one of
you.
those I'm going back through. I had used it for a while, and then once starting in at the marriage ministry, I kind of threw the time blocking out the window, and I've noticed I'm a lot less productive because of it. So I've gotten back into that a little bit. I think that would be a fun conversation for you and I to have after we've both been doing it consistently for a
Yeah.
few weeks, and then all of a sudden say, hey, here's what we're doing, here's how we're doing, here's the pros, here's the cons.
Yeah.
So
Well, I'm
Hey,
sorry to
I
have
don't wanna
miss
keep
the
you-
questions. Yeah.
No, I don't want to keep you. We didn't actually have any questions popping in. We just had Dustin and Genevieve and Dawn, Aaron, and everybody's there. Everybody's saying, hey, this was a short one. We just wanted to hop on here. We just wanted to chat for a little bit. We're going to plan on next week, right? We'll jump back in.
Yes.
So I think that's all we've got for you guys. So until then, we just want you all to stay blessed, enjoy God's best.
And have a good day. Or do you want me to taste the extravagant love of God?
There you
Man,
go.
I
We'll
just love
see
it.
y'all later.
Let's keep it. Love you guys. See ya.